Kamal, thank you so much for joining us today. As I understand it, you've just returned from Afghanistan only yesterday. Talk to us about your experience, Kamal. How did you get out and what happened?
So the situation on the ground is not as bad as it seems from far away. There is chaos at the airport, but otherwise the security in Kabul is pretty good. So I was in Panjshir in the northeast. It's roughly a 90-minute car journey from Panjshir to Kabul, and then from Kabul to the airport was roughly another 20 minutes. And then from there I flew to Pakistan. There are a lot of extra flights from Kabul to Islamabad. That seems to be the best route, and that's the one that's working. So it was a relatively smooth journey, despite what I thought will be a difficult journey. But if you have your right ticket, passport, and visa, it's relatively easy to get out. It's not as bad as it looks like. I think, unfortunately, for many of the Afghans who are crowding the airport, who have no way to get out, that's where the situation is desperate. But if you go in from the military side, things are relatively calm.
Well, we're so happy to hear that you're safe and you were able to get out. Kamal, let's talk about the policy implications of all of this as well, because President Biden says the US is now on track to complete those emergency evacuations by the 31st of August. That's despite the Taliban giving him a red line, saying the US will face consequences if it's unable to do so. G7 leaders seem to be pushing back on that, but now there is some kind of consensus that they will be able to get American and Afghan allies, as well as others in the country, out in time. Do you think that's the right decision by Biden and the G7, given your experience on the ground now, knowing firsthand what it's like at the airport and in the country today?
I think yes. In terms of the timeline, 31st is extremely close. I'm getting a lot of people contacting me saying, how do we get out? And also some of the big US organizations that themselves don't believe that this is workable as far as the 31st goes. I think the Taliban have ruled out any extension, but it was interesting to hear President Biden yesterday say that the Taliban is cooperating and helping people get out. And from what I've seen on the ground, as I said, away from the media hype and the hysteria, the Taliban are trying to cooperate. Of course, there is a vacuum of government. The fact that there is no government in place in Kabul means that there is this uncertainty. There's no border checks, no immigration, no proper airport security, let's say, as you might have at a normal airport. That makes it problematic. But I think as far as the evacuation deadline goes, some would argue it's the right thing because Biden simply wants to just get out, irrespective of what the criticism might be. But I think from a logistical perspective, you need at least 2 more weeks to get everyone out. And there are a lot of people, thousands of American and European citizens who are not even in Kabul at the moment. These are, of course, of Afghan origin who want to leave as well.